What's going on, everybody? This is Al from SWL6 Revival, and today I want to present you a new format to the play slides. I've been thinking about this for quite a while, and I think the original format was good, don't get me wrong, but I think it could have been better. The original format, the problem I had with it was you had to go back and forth a lot, training your eyes to look at the play art, look at the instructions, the progression reads, going back and forth. You were just looking all over the screen. Well, here I've simplified it a little bit. On top of, I've technically removed progression reads. And I'll break all this down. First, let's look over the play slide and see what's changed. Starting with the top left, nothing's changed. If it is a left hash play, it'll say left. If it's a right hash, it'll say right over on the top right. You'll have the name of the play. You have man or zone. Anything that's man, it's in blue. Anything in zone is in red. I got rid of the blue, green, red combination I had before. It just wasn't really needed. All I really need is two different colors. Deep, short, universal. The description of the play will be right here. Now the play art. This is where all the changes have been made. Notice I did not colorize the routes themselves. Only thing that's really colored is your instructions for each route, depending on if it's man, blue, zone, red. I also got rid of the progression reads. So in this video, we're going to break down both halfback circle at a gun two back slot and gun normal halfback angle, the two plays that are already on the website. So for here, the only read you need to worry about is your first read. In this case, just look for number one. We'll start with man. This case, it'll be this post route. Tap if both safeties come down. Otherwise, throw to your best player / man beater. Avoid double teams. Now, the reason why I changed to this particular format when it comes to the progression reads, or lack thereof, is because every situation is different when it comes to your roster. Before, I had, if the safeties didn't come down, you go to this guy as your number one. Yes, there's nothing wrong with that, but what if you have an average receiver? What if he's like a true freshman receiver, but you have like an All-American stud over here at the Z spot, or Y, or your halfback's an All-American? With pure progression reads, I didn't want to force you to go to a guy that might not be in your best interest. So if you have like an All-American stud at halfback, maybe he needs to be your first read for man. In this case, you just press the button after he makes his cut. But maybe it is your big-time wide receiver over here on the left. Maybe due to formation subs and sub packages, you may have your best wide receiver here in the slot for whatever reason. If that's the case, go up here. He may be your next progression. Press, but only if you see cover one. You see what I'm getting at? No different with zone. Find your number one zone beater, which in zone progression read, which in this case is the halfback. Press if there's an open hole in front of the center. Otherwise, read the safeties, then throw to one of your other zone beaters. So if you don't see a hole open up as soon as you snap the ball, read the safeties. If it's cover 2, 3, 4, whatever, go to one of your zone beaters. So let's say it's cover 3. You may want to go to the post route. If it's cover 2, you got a couple options. Maybe your stud wide receiver's in the slot and you want to go to him directly to go cover 2. You need to go to this guy first. If you see cover 2, there is no pressure from the right side. Then roll to the right and just press the button. And that's it. I think this new format makes things a whole lot easier for you as far as you don't have to look around so much. And maybe for new players, the pure progression is easier. But if you think about it, I really don't want you to memorize a whole lot of stuff. You shouldn't have to. You should be able to take this play slide, go into practice mode, and just kind of tinker with some of the situations with a different roster. If you got a big stud wide receiver, you may need to go to him first, so on and so forth. So now let's go to gun normal halfback angle. Again, your instructions are at the end of every route, depending on the instructions, if it's man or zone. We always start with our man number one progression. Again, there's always just one technically, and it's with the go route with the tight end. Tap if both safeties come down. Otherwise, throw to your best player / man beater. Avoid double team. So let's say the safeties do not come down. You got a stud wide receiver over here. But what if he's double teamed? Well, you probably need to go to the halfback. Well, what if you'd rather go to your main halfback and he's double teamed? Go to your out route. Again, that's why I got rid of the pure progression system. If it's zone, where's our number one guy to start with? It's the halfback. Press if there's a hole in front of the center. Otherwise, go to one of your zone beaters. If it's cover two, you got a tight window here with a tight end on the go route. And this is new, by the way, compared to the original PDF. I didn't have this before, but it's there if you need it. But it's, if you notice here, I put hold if you see cover two. Very tight windows, so be careful. I would practice this. If you are not comfortable throwing it to that tight of window, just go to your other zone beater, which is the little hitch route over here. Simple. Let's go to the next slide. This is the right-handed version. This is where you do some motioning depending on man or zone. We'll start with man. If it's man, motion your out route over to the left just a little bit. That gives him more room to get open. But our first step is at number one, which is the tight end. Tap if both safeties come down. Otherwise, throw to your best man beater. Avoid double teams. So if both safeties do come down, tap it to the tight end. If they don't, go to one of your three man beaters. For whatever reason, if you got a formation sub package where your top receiver, maybe a halfback is right here in the slot, maybe you want to go to him first. Look at him. If you see cover one, just press the ball to him. Maybe you need to go to the out route. Maybe he's your stud. Go to him. But what if he's double teamed? Well, you may have to go to the halfback. Same with zone. We'll find our first read, our only read, which is the halfback. If there's a hole open in the middle, dump it to him. Otherwise, just read the safeties and act accordingly. If it's cover two, you got a couple options. You got the tight end. You're going to motion him over before the play against zone. No different than the lefty version. It's a tight window, but it can hit against cover two. Maybe you want to start with this guy. If you see cover two, there's no pressure for the left side, then roll to the left and press the button. The tight end will distract that free safety, leaving this guy open. Maybe your roster is not very well put together in terms of receivers, and the only good guy you have is this guy right here. Against zone, just dump it to him. Again, it's all situational, but you don't have to memorize as much. So I think I've hit two birds with one stone here. The bottom, nothing's changed with the notes. I don't remember changing anything there. I don't remember if I talked about this or not, but you do notice there's a date. That just shows you the last time I edited the PDF. And speaking of, we'll go to the website. Nothing has changed except you need to download these PDFs again. The ones you had before are obsolete. I think the new format's better. I think you'll like them. Those new PDFs are here. Just go ahead and download them. And I will be deleting the two previous videos. There's no sense of keeping them on there if I don't have those PDFs on the website. So don't expect to look for those videos anytime soon. Just go to this particular video. And speaking of that, I think what I might do, since it doesn't take me long to break down a play with the play slide, because everything's right there in front of you, it's self-explanatory, I may do plays like in a bundle. If I have like 4 or 5 plays already finished, I may do a video on all 5 at the same time, and I'll just point you in the right direction and go into the play slides. Now, in the future, what I may do is once we have 20 or 30 plays broken down, I will put all this in alphabetical order to begin with, but what I may do is categorize them by maybe formation, just to make it a little bit easier to find. And in the future, what I may do is if you go to plays, if you go to shotgun, say if you want to know if I have gun two back slot, halfback circle, if I have a play slide for it, what you can do is hover over here and just click on this image. It's one image. These three plays right here, it's real hard to do them individual. That and it would just take me forever if I'd done them individually. What you can do is maybe click on this image and it'll go back to the play slide. I haven't done that yet. I'm trying to see if I can find an easier way to do that, but I may do that in the future. Alright guys, hopefully you like the new format. I think it makes a little more sense. It doesn't force you to memorize every progression. You don't have to look around all over the play slide. You don't have to look at the play art, then look to the right, play art, right, so on and so forth. Everything is right where it needs to be. Everything's a little bit bigger. And I've written things out a little bit more to make things a little more self-explanatory. So take these, apply them, please. I implore you to re-download these PDFs, get rid of the old ones, and hopefully, maybe at least once a week, I will have a new bundle of video or a new bundle of plays to give to you all that I can throw on the website. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later.